Bisson proposed this plan after thousands became homeless by the 2023 fire disaster, exacerbating the island's housing crisis. His goal is to improve housing affordability for Maui County residents, but economists say that comes at a cost. The plan is to phase out approximately 6,000 transient vacation rentals or TVRs that are zoned in apartment districts and convert them into long-term housing units. The University of Hawaii Economic Research Organization says the policy would increase long-term housing stock by about 13%. UHERO says that that's equivalent to a decade's worth of new housing development. The group also says condo prices are projected to decline by 20 to 40%, improving affordability, but also reducing household wealth.
Current political will to build housing on Maui is pretty limited, and if we look at recent history, there's been very little housing production. So if we need to increase housing supply, this is one alternative option. And as we pointed out in the report, it comes at the expense of the tourism industry to some extent, so there's a trade-off there.
economists predict by eliminating these TVRs, total visitor spending on Maui is projected to decline by $900 million a year, and that will result in the loss of about 1,900 jobs. In addition, they estimate property tax revenues could fall by up to $60 million a year, and general excise tax and transit accommodations tax revenues are projected to fall by about $15 million a year. Mayor Bisson has repeatedly said the benefits of this far outweigh the negative impacts. Now, right now, the council is focused on passing the budget, so the soonest they could schedule this for a committee meeting is late May.
Okay, so now that you know what Bill 9 is about, it's about eliminating vacation rentals, but it's in the targeted, just one little targeted area called the Minatoya list, which was a list of condos that were allowed to be vacation rental condos. When there was a confusion a while back, they decided to make a list and codify it, and then that's where people shop to get their vacation rentals, and it's a legal vacation rental list. So if your condo's on there, then you're allowed to vacation rent. Well, Bisson says that that can be taken away, that it was an exemption, and exemptions can be taken away. So he's using that word to try to get rid of it. It is illegal. There will be legal battles and all that stuff if it goes through. But like the news said, he's willing to take all of that, and he also said it's for the better good of the people. And that sounds great, doesn't it? Doesn't it sound like that would be a great idea? But the problem is, these STRs are very expensive to keep up. So if they were to go down in price 20 to 40%, which guess what? This report was a year ago. So here we are a year later, and Bill 9 is going to happen on June 9th. Well, actually, they're going to talk about it June 9th at 10 a.m. And at the Maui, what's it called? The Kalana o Maui building on the 8th floor, 200 South High Street. It's also going to be, that's in Wailuku. That's also going to be online. I will let you know where it is online. So anyone could testify in person or online. And but what I want to say about that is that throughout the year, those condos have gone down 40% in price. But the problem with that is only those condos went down 40%. All the rest of the condos looked a little more appetizing, and because their HOAs are not as high, or places that are on the ocean or across the street from the ocean are always going to be higher in price, and they have nice pools and this and that, and their HOAs are over $1,000 a month. So for that, and for the taxes and the high insurance, high hurricane insurance for being near the water, all of those things add up. And so I was saying in the last year's meeting that because of all of that, that even if the places were 50% off, nobody's going to buy it because it's too expensive monthly. And I'm sure you guys have gone shopping for condos, and if it's anything like $1,000 or $1,500 a month or $2,000 a month for HOA, you say forget it, let's look at the next one. And Bisson is calling these affordable condos for displaced fire victims and families. And these condos are also kind of small, but that's a whole nother issue because people will pile their families into the condos, but it's still unaffordable. So that was my argument, and it has happened that way. It has, I have put my condo up for sale. It hasn't sold because people don't want to buy something that's that expensive. And also investors are just sitting and waiting to see how low they're going to go. But at the same time, they shot themselves in the foot because all the other condos and all the other houses, this directly affected the price of houses and other condos to go up. So now the condos that were affordable are not affordable, and these condos are still not affordable. So I tried to explain this to them last year. They didn't listen, and they're still trying to push this bill. Okay, now this guy here, this guy is one of the leaders of Lahaina Strong, and he is so for the bill. I talked to him in person, and I was asking him, do you want local people to suffer too? The ones that, like myself, who owns a condo and lives here and has been through everything that everyone else has been through, do you want them to suffer too? Because, are you saying you want all condos, all vacation rentals to go away no matter who you are? Because they kept saying, oh, mainlander, rich people, they owe 20 of them. No, not everybody does. And other people last year went up to the podium that were local families that said they had bought a vacation rental to pay for their mom's cancer treatment, or to be able to have their kids live in their house, or to build an ohana in the backyard so that their kids could live on property, things like that. So I told this guy that, and I said, so you want everybody, like, aren't we supposed to help everybody out on the island? And he said, he said things like, well, how long have you been here? And then there was another white girl. I said, well, how long has she been here? Does it even matter? I am a full-time resident here. I live here. I've been here for a while, and we have all suffered through this together. And I'm also a voice for everyone else who has lived here for a long, long time, and they're trying to help their aunties and things like that. So for them as well, do you want their vacation rentals to be taken away? And he was like, you know what? Some people have to suffer, and it's an investment, and investments sometimes go wrong. And the thing is, this investment was supposed to be codified, and it's not an illegal vacation rental. So he was not going to budge. He was like, I don't care. And listen to him right now. I'm going to play this for you because, also we were saying, oh, you get paid to lobby. So, the mayor did him a favor by, this is the leader those people that were camped on the beach in Kaanapali. Okay? He was proud that the mayor was able to help him get it to legislator. And probably some of the hotels too. Because the hotels, if we go out of business, the hotels, our local businesses close, and the hotels get to raise their prices by 50%. And there was a study, a UHERO study, if you want to look it up. And they said, and I think I'm going to play some of it, or I think I just did. That was part of the UHERO study, that, you get rid of these things, and it's going to lower the prices by 40%, but there's a trade-off. There's going to be 1,900 jobs lost. All the tax revenue for the county is going to be gone. And the mayor said that doesn't matter. And the reason why the mayor said that later on, he said, we got billions of dollars from the fire. We're good. Pretty much. That's what he said. But that's not going to last forever. They just did the budget. They've spent it all. And a lot of it is going to affordable housing. So why are they trying to get rid of these STRs now for housing? Because they put billions of dollars into a lot of affordable housing that's going to be built and subsidized by the government. So with that said, this guy was upset because there were things that were said about him, and he this clip talks about, I don't know if it talks about more, but it talks about how he gets paid, and he was mad because people are like, he gets paid. So here is a clip of him talking about how he gets paid.
Send me $20,000 because I use Amazon AI. I'm going to show you a way to potentially make money by pairing.
But aside from that, yeah, we all get paid with Lahaina Strong. And you know how much we get paid? I'll tell you exactly what I get paid. I probably have $400 to my name in my account right now. I get paid $1,200 to $1,400 every 2 weeks.
Why did Amazon send me $20,000? Because I use Amazon AI. I'm going to show you a way to potentially make money by pairing Amazon with the power of AI without ever selling physical products. And I promise you've never heard about this before.
Why is Amazon paying me $63,000 a month? Well, I didn't make this kind of money selling yoga mats and toasters, and I damn sure wasn't talking to my friends into buying vitamins and juices. I did it with a free app that's probably already on your phone, and that app is the Kindle app.
I just created some simple digital products, then I put them up on Amazon, and it was so exciting. The first time I tried it, I made $14, and I was like, oh my goodness, this actually works. Hi, I'm Carla Marie, and the coolest part is Amazon puts over 300 million customers just a click away.
Follow up on
so
the,
age, experience,
the
qualifications,
bill that you've already
none
signed,
of it matters.
with regards to
I want to
the
share my
counties
full
getting the
system with
authority
you,
to
but
regulate these
obviously
short-term
this
rentals.
is an ad. So I'm
Maui
hosting
County
a
is
free
acting on it
workshop
already,
where I
and you
walk
talked
you
about
through
the
my
importance
system
of those
step by
housing,
step.
but that
This
has come with
system is
pushback, criticism, some threats of lawsuits. How do you counter that message to those who maybe are opposed to this? And how do you find that middle ground of continue to navigate forward with this legislation that is now signed into law?
Sure. So a couple of the basics again on short-term rentals. For some, it's okay, but it got out of control. Hawaii is simply too desirable to everybody across the world. So we reached a point where we have about 89,000 short-term rentals in our small state, of which many thousands of those are on Maui, because Maui has been a kind of a supercharged short-term rental market. So many housing units were absorbed that just had no housing for local people. So at the end of the day, people are going to have to ask themselves, and the courts will too, are we going to put a priority on our people, our families, our ohana staying in Hawaii and working and having great jobs and providing service for the economy? Or are we going to allow a small sliver of people to get rich on our own properties? And also remember, of those 89,000 short-term rentals, over half of them are owned by mainland guys. So, I'm not of the mind that we should allow people make 400% profit on properties when, small families, young families can't find a home and the prices are $1.1, $1.2, $1.3 million. I mean, so we need to bring some of that back to the market. Expect significant additional legislation from me next year, which is going to probably require people to actually be living in the county if they're going to run a short-term rental. That would help our local people. Some local people should have a short-term rental, maybe for 3 months, maybe for 6 months. Maybe they'll be a little bit more compassionate about the cost that they apply to their short-term rental. But I can tell you, everyone else is getting as much money as they can every night, and that's not cool. So I'm going to keep pushing on that. If we get those 7,200 units back, that was the Minatoya decision. A judge named Minatoya, basically they grandfathered in a lot of units. If those 7,200 units come back, then not only will Lahaina Strong have won, but the people of Maui will have won, and all of us will have won. So special kudos to Pa'ele and those dudes, because that was very, very good power advocacy, and I appreciate them. And that will be even better when you get tens of thousands of units on Oahu, because Mayor Blangiardi, pushed very hard. He wants the short-term rental rule to be 3 months, which essentially means you could do some transitional housing if you're here for a short term of work, or you need a transition house, but then that will gradually become a long-term rental. That's really good. And the courts shot that down. They said that the state had to pass legislation. So, hey, don't ask me twice. If they say we have to do it, I'm glad to give that housing back to our people.
So yeah, the prior guy is named Pa'ele, the one that he was praising. And so they're kind of all in bed together. And that was Josh Green, the governor. And so he gave the rights to all states. Each state, the governor of Hawaii gave each island their own power to figure out what they want to do with their own with vacation rentals in their own island. So that's why he was saying, you don't have to ask me twice, I'll pass that legislation. And so anyways, now they're doing the Bill 9, which is making the vacation rentals turn to long-term rental. But again, the expenses are so high that they're about twice. The expenses are twice the amount that you could get for long-term rent. So a rich person could afford it, but not anybody else like myself or any other person that is just, bought it for a little bit of profit, and all the fees have gone up, so you're not making as much profit. But and then also, we haven't really been making profit for 4 years because there was COVID, there was the fires, and now there's this legislation thing. So no visitors are really coming. We're not making any money, and that shows you right there that without tourism, everybody hurts, and that's what's happening now. And it's showing directly that getting rid of these vacation rentals is not going to help with the housing market, because my place has been for sale for about 40%. A lot of those condos at my place have been, they were at $1 million and now they're at $750,000, and they're not moving. They're not moving at all. They're not selling because the fees, the HOAs and the costs and the higher interest rate, everything, it's going to cost them. I bought mine for $500,000. If I sold it for $750,000, it's still going to cost them, as much as I pay or more per month to keep that place. And nobody's going to want a 2-bedroom, 2-bath for that. And nobody's going to rent a 2-bedroom, 2-bath for $3,000 or $3,500 when they have to pay out $7,000 or $8,000 a month. It's not a good investment. So no rich person, nobody's gonna buy it. And I was trying to explain that to them last year. Now there's proof that it's happened. I also said many jobs were going to go away, and they have. Many businesses have closed. Many jobs went away. I ended up, because I don't have as many rentals right now. I don't have renters in my place. So that goes, zero income, and and I still have to pay the bills. So I had to fire my maid and just clean my places myself while we're going through this. And if I make enough money to pay the maid later, then I'll do that. But, so it's a trickle down as well. A lot of people are doing that. They're just getting rid of their maids, and everybody, all the businesses, like the food businesses, they're cutting people's hours. Other businesses, like I said, have folded. Many people have left island. All of this is directly from the threat. They haven't even turned these vacation rentals into long term, but just because of the threat of it, people are bailing. People are trying to sell their houses. People are like, I'm going to take whatever money I have left and run. So we do need tourism here. I don't know what these people are thinking. And cutting off the vacation rental money is going to hurt the tourism. With the vacation rentals gone and less money being poured in, as well as the loss of income that the government's going to get for not having vacation rentals, all that money that they had said in the beginning of this video, that they will no longer have every month. And like I said, Bisson said he didn't care. So just wanted to make sure that you guys know what's happening. And they've done some crazy things. I am going to show you a video of this guy in the very beginning. He was, when the FEMA money was coming through, and they were paying the hotels big money, $500 per day. Listen to this story from this guy. From the start of it, they've been done nothing but horrible decisions. Watch this.
Financial compensation available to qualifying Maui residents who were near the Lahaina fire.
I know that.
If you were near the devastating August 20.
The study lists the pros and cons of a plan to convert thousands of vacation rentals into long-term housing units on Maui. It includes impacts on tourism, employment, and the housing market. Our Chelsea Davis joins us live in
But I think I already
Kapolei
played this
with
one. Let me
more
pause it.
Costing to house just one wildfire survivor in a Maui hotel.
That tab is more than $15,000 per month, and advocates say it shows why longer-term housing is needed now.
I had been trying to find out how much it cost me for a long time.
Since Sanford Hill's home was destroyed in the Lahaina fire, he's been living in hotels paid for by the government.
Nobody would tell me. It was like, oh, they're paying for it.
Then a bill apparently accidentally appeared.
And all of a sudden, this bill just showed up in my email.
Hill knew he personally didn't have to pay for it, but it's a window into how much is being spent. The bill from the Royal Lahaina is from January to May at $354 per day. With taxes and fees, it's roughly $500 per day, totaling more than $15,000 per month.
The bill is for 5 months, from January 1st to June 1st. That alone is $75,000.
What was your reaction when you saw that bill?
The whole housing situation is completely screwed up. We can't find housing. And, the amount of money they give us is so manini compared to, $15,000 a month that the hotel is getting. So it really kind of upsets me.
So I just wanted to let you know a little bit, kind of the background of what's going on and why Bill 9 is not going to work. Bill 9 is strictly focused on STRs, vacation rentals, on the Minatoya list, which is legal and also too expensive for anyone else, to live in long term. It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense to buy it either for an investor. The only way that it would make sense is for somebody to pick it up as a good deal, somebody that has the money, and then just, have it for family or second home or something like that. But that's not what Bill 9 is about. Bill 9 wants to take these and make them force you to do it long term, and you figure it out, which would mean, I have to sell. Anybody else that can afford it can keep it. Nobody's going to be able. His idea was to turn it back to the people, right? It can't be. Nobody can afford to do that. Nobody will buy it. We offered it up for sale. Nobody's buying it. None of these people that want it are buying it. And then the people that are paying all these bills for them now are like, let's sell. I'm not going to put myself underwater. And myself, I'm broke. I can't. I'm underwater right now. So anyway, their idea is that everyone that owns these STRs are rich and they can afford it. So let them figure it out, and that's not the way to do it. And don't, at least help the people that own these STRs that live here. Don't try to hurt them even more. They just want to do a fine line all the way across. Just get rid of them all. And so I just ask that you guys, listen in. Maybe if you live here, if you even if you rent, it seems like it's renters versus owners of these STRs. And if you rent, when these STRs go away, depending on where you work, your job goes away as well. So kind of keep in mind how it's going to correlate with what you do. Because getting rid of those STRs are not going to help with local housing, because the government is pouring billions of dollars into new affordable housing, brand new, with subsidies. Which one are you going to pick? Are you going to pick an STR that you have to pay for and that is older, in the 1980s or something like that, 70s? You're going to pick that, or you're going to pick a brand new place where you're going to have subsidy from the government? Yeah, I already know. But some people don't think about it. They just say, let's get it, we need it. And that's how it was in the beginning. But now that they have solutions, I don't know why they're still picking on the STRs. It just doesn't work. And, you know, all the lost jobs that it's going to cause, all the businesses that are going to close if the bill passes, because this last year, there's already been one wave, and this will create a second wave. I'm serious, the wave that knocks everybody out. So I'm in opposition of Bill 9, obviously. And I do want everybody to be informed. The Lahaina Strong group is a very loud group. They speak up. The people that own these vacation rentals they're afraid. They don't want to get out there. They don't want to show their face. They're afraid that something could happen to them. They would rather just show up and give their testimony, and that's it. But I wanted to show you a little background so that you guys can make a good decision. And anything that I've talked about, the Minatoya list, all these things, you can do research on that yourself. I just wanted to give you an idea of what's going on. This is happening on June 9th, and then after the HLU discusses it, they will take it to the Maui County Council, which I just heard the end of their meeting today, and that was quite entertaining. I'll get into that later. Very entertaining. The very last part was probably the best, so look it up. So they had talked about when they're going to talk, the city council, the Maui County Council is going to discuss this after it gets handed to them from HLU. And they were discussing all these different dates, and it kind of sounds like it's going to be, well, they threw around a bunch of different dates, but it's going to be around I believe the 24th, 25th, or 26th, or 27th, or all of those days. They were kind of going around and around about it. So just be sure that's going to be on your calendar. And also they're going to meet again on the 12th, I believe. So just look at the calendar, make sure, you know, if you want to see. But it sounded like the testimonies were going to be around the 24th, but it could also move because they were still discussing it. All right, aloha. I hope everybody is well. I hope this works out for everyone. But don't make the wrong decision. I really don't want to see, in my heart of hearts, I swear, I do not want to see the rest, another wave of local people that have lived here for so long having to leave. I really don't want to see that. And then they're going to be replaced by rich mainlanders, which this whole bill is trying to escape that. But yet, do you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, you're going to make it worse. Okay. Love you all. Aloha. Bye.